Have you ever tried to figure out what is true and what is not true when it comes to paying for college? In my experience of over a decade in this world, not only from my own experience, but working with thousands of families, I have found that there are four major myths that really stop families from getting a debt free degree. And in fact, if you can relate to any of these, don't feel guilty because I got sucked into these myself. Now, that said, I'm sharing the four myths from a live training that we recently held with thousands of families because this is such an important thing to know so that your family doesn't get sucked into those as well. Hey there, my name is Jocelyn Pearson, founder of the Scholarship System and Debt Free Degree Lab, where we redefine paying for college to teach families how to build strong financial futures rather than ones buried in student loan debt. And every single week, we release a new strategy that helps your family pursue a debt-free degree. So make sure you hit subscribe. Now, pursuing that debt-free degree is a little bit more difficult when you're not really believing it's even possible. And a lot of times, the reason families don't believe it's possible is because someone has told them misinformation or someone else's experience didn't work out. And so they just think, oh, there's no way we can do this. But I'll tell you what. We have had families secure well over $10 million in funding over the years, and we have had so many students graduate without a penny of debt, without their parents tapping into their retirement funds, without them scrounging together every penny, because they were able to pursue the strategies that we share. But again, a big part of that was they had to believe it was possible. So that said, watch this video and learn what the four myths are around paying for college so that your family doesn't fall victim to them as well. And again, make sure you hit subscribe, but also if you want to attend the live training next time we hold it, you can go to thescholarshipsystem.com/waitlist and you'll be the first to get an invitation. All right, let's go ahead and dive into the four myths of paying for college. It's important that you understand four core beliefs that increase the cost of college for every family if they don't change these beliefs. But today we've got to get over these myths because I guarantee you some of you have heard probably all of these. All right, let's get into the first myth, and that is we are not going to qualify for financial aid. Did you know that 30% of families that fill out FAFSA and make over six figures receive some sort of assistance from colleges? Now, recently a family, they shared that they were advised by a coworker not to bother applying for aid because their income was too high. Don't even bother. You're not going to qualify. If they had applied, they found out later on that their daughter would have qualified for $17,000 per year from the private school that she attended. So it wouldn't have been necessarily government aid, but that would have been over 4 years, $68,000. And with a modest rate of return, I'm going to get real nerdy on you. That's actually worth $250,000 if they had put that into their retirement, just saying. And actually, we have another story where someone else didn't fill out the forms and their son missed out on $40,000 a year from NYU. And once they missed this deadline, they could not go back. NYU was adamant that it was game over, that it was done. What was done was done. So perhaps your family won't get anything. And if that's the case, we still have options for you. Don't worry. But I would not make the assumption here because that could cost you $250,000 in the end. And this is also where appealing comes into play. We have step-by-step instructions on this inside the lab. But as you can imagine, those have been huge over the last couple of years, especially with COVID and all the changes going on. Families have gained thousands of dollars per year for the universities. We'll speak more on appealing throughout the week. And then, of course, FAFSA changes. There are some major changes that kicked in this year, major changes that they've been kind of slowly rolling out. But we will be sharing some of those as well this week. So that said, it's always changing. There's opportunity for appealing. Please always, always submit FAFSA, okay? Let's get into the second one. So it is, my student is not competitive enough for merit aid. Okay. This comes down, that may be true based on the schools that they're looking at, but this really comes down to how flexible your student can be when it comes to college. And I understand that many students have their hearts set on a university and perhaps they can make it happen. We've had one student where she had the school set and their parents said, well, look, this is what we gave your brother.
This is all you're getting. So if you want that school to happen, you have to do the work. And she did. But on the other hand, if we can open up our options, this can be a fast way to knock off money off that bill. And that is by choosing a different school. We've looked at hundreds of schools, and in the grand scheme of things, actually, that's not many compared to all that's out there. But we found over 136 potential scholarships for students with under 3.5s, under it was a 25 ACT or 1200 SAT. I'm not saying those are low scores by any means, but they're not perfect, right? And there were hundreds of scholarships. Now, for this fall, actually, for over the last, I guess it's now almost 2 years, there's many schools that don't even require ACT or SAT. They're test optional or test blind, which creates so much opportunity for those who are bad test takers. In fact, I was a bad test taker. The third myth that often holds families back is we make too much money to strategize here. Sometimes it takes more than just submitting FAFSA, but there are strategies out there. So 24% of savings of education tax credits and deductions go to households with adjusted gross incomes between $100,000 and $180,000. So if your family is in that six-figure range, this could be a big opportunity. Even if you're maybe 180, 185, there's some strategies there that can get you into that tax credit area. So this could be a big opportunity for families that are in a higher tax bracket. The last one is there's nothing we can do to affect our college bill. What's done is done. Many families choose a school and then they get the bill and then they try to figure out how to pay for it. And they're honestly typically in panic mode when that bill comes in. A lot of families don't even touch the paying process until they've done the admissions side and they're in, and again, that bill has come in. By starting now, there are a lot of options that can really snowball the decrease in the cost of college or the increase in money for college. But the idea here is that I explained this the other night, or maybe it was last night, I was live. Every family, when I think of a debt-free degree, I think of every family having their own picture of a debt-free degree. And I always say it's a puzzle, and each family has unique cuts. They have unique puzzle pieces that make up this image of a debt-free degree. And that's really the idea, is how do we pick, you might have like one strategy where you're like, oh yeah, that one, we don't want to avoid taking the car to college or whatever that savings one is, but we are willing to do this one. Every family is different, and you can pick different strategies to really make up that debt-free degree image.
All right, so there you have it. Now, if you believed any of these, if you still are unsure if it's true or if it doesn't pertain to your family, feel free to leave a comment below and let me know why you are unsure or why you think that it still won't help your family. And I can write back to you with whatever it is that you need to hear so that your family knows you too can pursue a debt-free degree with your child. So again, comment below with any questions or comments or feedback that you have based on these 4 myths, because I know that they are a little bit of a rebellious thought. Again, you know that we love our #Rebel Family mentality. We know that they can be rebellious against what the normal status quo says, and that is why we're here to share them with you. So again, comment below with whatever it is that you're thinking around these 4 myths, and make sure you hit subscribe, because every single week you will get a new strategy to help you work towards that debt-free degree with your student. Again, my name is Jocelyn Pearson, founder of the Scholarship System and Debt-Free Degree Lab. I'll see you in the next video.